content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome to Age Well Together, proudly presented by Sunscape Boca Raton. Step into a world of care, connection, and cherished moments. We invite you and your loved ones to embark on a journey where each show is crafted with comfort, compassion, and exceptional care. Join the conversation that enhances the richness of this new chapter in life. For more information, contact Sunscape Boca at 561-680-3600 and let us help you embrace the beauty of aging well together.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Age Well Together, presented by Sunscape Boca Raton, the new assisted and memory care community that opened up on Boca Rio Road. I'm Lori Rolat. I'm the Director of Community Relations at Sunscape. Give us a call for a tour at 561-680-3600 and join us for our first annual high tea happening on January 30th. My guest today is Becky Dieter, and Becky is the owner and senior living advisor for Compassionate Senior Guidance. Becky holds a Bachelor of Science degree in business as well as a Juris Doctorate. She practiced law and worked in the human resources arena for many years. And then Becky's journey into senior living began in 2014 with her own family when she left a job to help care for her parents that were out of state. From her personal experience helping families, Becky saw the benefit of having a senior living advisor company. She helped guide families and seniors to find the best senior living options, independent living, assisted living, and memory care. She also helped coach her families through the difficult process of moving their loved ones. Becky is on the board of the Palm Beach County Partnership for Aging, the Committee for the Walk to End Alzheimer's of Boca Raton, and a sponsor and organizer for the Senior Significance Project. She also does speaking engagements and presentations regarding senior living, planning for aging, as well as coaching seniors and families. Welcome, Becky.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, pleasure to be here.
So I know that we said that you got into this in 2014 after you had your law degree, but tell us just a little bit more about that transition, because it's a big jump from law to senior living.
Definitely, it's a big shift, and really it was about helping my parents and seeing that we don't know anything about this when we get thrown into the senior arena. We have our jobs, we know our job, but then all of a sudden we're thrown into this as adult children trying to help our parents. I had no idea what I was doing and was working with hospice and home care and powers of attorney and bringing in aides, and all the while thinking, wow, I wish I had somebody to help me because I don't know what I'm doing.
I had the same experience. The reason how I got into this was back in 2006, my then 98 grandmother, completely independent, fell and broke her hip. And then we were told one thing, which wasn't the case, and we had to do all this research. If you don't know assisted livings exist, if it's not in your world, you don't know. So when you throw it into it, you don't have the choices, which is why it's important for family to know what their options are.
Right. And that's where it's a senior living advisor, that's how I came into that, was being able to help families navigate that. Information is power, right? So it's all about giving families the information they need to be able to make a good decision for their loved one or help their loved one make a good decision.
So what is a senior living advisor?
A senior living advisor, I describe it as like a realtor for senior living. All right, it's an easy way to describe it to people. So we work in the arena of independent living, assisted living, and memory care. So we spend time with the family, getting to know them, understanding what are the care needs, what's important to them, what are their hobbies, most importantly, what is their budget, so that we're not having people look at places, fall in love, and they can't afford it, right?
Yeah.
So really trying to understand what they're looking for. then come up with a short list of communities in the area and send them information on that. And then we set up tours. I go on the tours with them and make sure they're getting the information they need. Because as you know, when families come in and maybe it's the first time they've toured, they don't even know what questions to ask. They don't know what they don't know.
It's definitely helped to have an advocate.
Right.
So there are the 3 levels of living, the independent, assisted, and memory care. Talk to me more about, or tell our viewers, the difference between all 3, because when you hear independent living, I don't think people realize there's still some services involved in regards to having an easier way to have a day, although that independent part is a very big thing. People feel that assisted living is taboo, and nowadays it's not so much.
Right. So one thing that's important, particularly in Florida, because we have so many 55 plus communities, right? So what's the difference between a 55 plus and an independent living? So in independent living, you're receiving services, as you said. So you have usually 2 meals a day, a breakfast and usually dinner or choice of dinner or lunch. You're receiving housekeeping once a week. There's activities. There is transportation within a 10-mile radius usually to stores, to banks, to activities. And then there's activities going on. So the socialization aspects, a lot of times, is why somebody's going to look to move to independent living as opposed to 55 plus, where yes, there may be a clubhouse, but people are a little more isolated where they live.
Exactly. They actually don't have those services that are inside the same community/building.
Exactly.
To make it easier to get from your apartment to the dining room or to your apartment down to a lecture or the movie theater.
Right. And it's all included in the rent. So utilities and housekeeping and all those things I listed are all included in the rent, so you're not paying all these separate bills for things. So assisted living has all those same things. However, it's 3 meals a day and there's 24-hour care available. And I want to explain that because that's one of the things that gets thrown around a lot and people don't really understand. What does 24-hour available care mean?
They don't understand that. So please, yes, share that with us.
So 24-hour available care means in an assisted living environment, there are caregivers available at the push of a pendant or pulling on a pull cord that can come and assist. The other thing to understand is many times people think that someone has to go to skilled nursing because they need help bathing, they need help dressing. That's not really skilled nursing. Skilled nursing or a nursing home is where somebody's bedbound, has high-level medical needs, IVs, things that need nursing. Exactly.
Actual skilled nursing needs.
Right. Assisted living is there to help with those activities of living. They're there to help with bathing, dressing, transferring, helping go to the bathroom, all of those things to help people continue a quality of life. Lastly, there's memory care. And again, sometimes there's some misunderstandings with when somebody has to go to memory care, right?
Yep.
Mom or dad has a diagnosis of dementia or Alzheimer's. That doesn't mean they automatically have to go to memory care. As you know, there are many people that function well in independent living or assisted living for a period of time, maybe forever, even though they have that diagnosis.
And we find that too. You know, we have assisted living and memory care in Sunscape, and even in my prior buildings as well. And yes, just because somebody has cognitive issues or they even have a diagnosis doesn't mean they necessarily need a memory care community that is a secure area for people that wander out, and there's more structure. Where if they have some cognitive issues and they're home alone, being in an assisted living community, being engaged, having the nutrition and somebody to oversee, they're actually fine to live in assisted living, most people for quite some time. Then should they ever need a memory care, how easy is that transition, not only for them, but for families, knowing that they don't have to start looking again?
Right.
So if somebody does have these cognitive issues, and I'm sure that when you see it, you're probably looking at a community that either has all 3 or at least the 2 levels.
Absolutely. You want to prepare for what's coming, right? And in memory care, we're looking at folks that, to your point about being secured, that are a wander risk, that we're afraid are going to walk out and get lost, or have behaviors that are better managed by folks that are trained to help people with cognitive challenges. And so that's what we're looking for in terms of memory care as opposed to assisted living, because so many people can be successful in assisted living with the right structure.
So that brings me to my next question and topic is how do you help coach families navigate that? Especially families that are either out of town, they come for a holiday and all of a sudden they're like, what's this? And they think it's something drastic and terrible, and they get to you, they're probably at very wit's end, or they've seen something that just happened that doesn't make sense with their loved one, and they're like, oh, we need to do this right away. But you're seeing that they may not need everything at once, that they may need just some help, maybe even help in the home at first. How is it that you help families?
And that's what you described is very typical, particularly in Florida. We're a little unique here where we have so many out-of-state children because mom and dad have retired down here, and the children are in New York or New Jersey or Pennsylvania or where have you. So we have that situation quite a bit where the children are out of state, they come down and visit, and whoa, right?
Yep.
Little different than what they told me was going on the phone, okay? And so it is, what do we need to do first? Do we need to get some in-home care to kind of as a stopgap to try and see how they manage until maybe we can look for a more permanent situation for them living-wise? Or maybe they just need the home care right now, and that's possible. So I'm very honest with people in terms of, yes, my business is moving people to senior living, but at the same time, if staying in the home and getting home care and having somebody come in and do a safety check in the house and put in grab bars and put in things in place that they need is the best thing, then that's what I'm going to recommend to folks.
What are your opinions? And I know that it's very different and each individual is different, but I actually see somebody that has been living home alone and they move into a community and they thrive because they're with other people that are being engaged. And I absolutely understand nobody wants to leave their house, right? And to make it as safe as possible first, but to have one person come in as a caregiver or as a companion, it's really not keeping them engaged as to oppose as moving into a community and having that support. What are your thoughts about both scenarios?
Well, I think it really depends on the situation. You know, it really does. Sometimes the socialization is desperately needed because they're not getting out and they're not able, maybe they don't drive anymore. So that right there limits people's ability to get out and socialize. If it's somebody that's still driving and still getting out there, that may be a different situation. Right. The other thing is, we don't want to wait for crisis to suddenly say, oh, crisis happened, they took a bad fall, we've got to move. We want to try and get there before crisis. And today I came across something with a couple, and one of the coaching styles that I use with couples is I want them to think about moving as a couple. You don't have to wait till one spouse dies to move. And I call it the gift you give your spouse. Because from my own experience, seeing someone wait, one spouse remains and they have to go through sorting through their house, selling their house, moving to a new place.
And still going through the grieving process as well. I mean, that alone, when somebody's married 40, 50, 60, 70 years, that's a grief in itself. So
right.
That makes sense. We have 5 couples living at Sunscape Boca.
That's great.
Raton. Yeah, and for that reason alone, right? They're coming in together. One needs more help than the other,
right?
But they're there together. So if and when that happens, and it does, that they can grieve in their own home where they've been for quite some time.
Exactly. And it's hard for people to to think about that. Well, we'll just stay in the home till something happens. Well, we don't want to wait till something happens. The other thing about waiting is that when that crisis or that event happens, you may not be able to get into the community that you really wanted to get into.
No, your options are now. And that being said, nobody spends a Saturday morning shopping for assisted living.
Right.
Right? However, you need to start understanding what is available and what your options are. And we'll talk about more of that and how people actually find you and how they should start when we come back from our break. I'm Lori Rolat. I'm with Sunscape of Boca Raton. I'm here with Becky Dieter. She is the owner of Compassionate Senior Guidance. And we'll be back after this break.
Discover a vibrant oasis where comfort meets exceptional care. Whether you're seeking assisted living or memory care, our dedicated team is here to provide compassionate support and enriching experience for you or your loved ones. Join our Sunscape family and experience a new chapter of life filled with care, connection, and cherished moments. Schedule a tour today to see our beautifully designed community and learn more about how we can tailor our services to meet your needs. Your new adventure awaits at Sunscape Boca Raton. We're easy to reach and eager to answer any questions you may have about your future at Sunscape. Please call us at 561-680-3600 to make an appointment in person or virtually through FaceTime, Zoom, or Skype. We are located at 22501 Boca Rio Road and hope you'll be as excited as we are to see every side of you shine at Sunscape.
Now, let's dive back into the show and continue our journey toward a healthier and more enriching life. Stay tuned and let's age well together. For more details, contact Sunscape Boca at 561-680-3600 or sunscapebocaraton.com. And now back to the show.
Welcome back to Age Well Together, sponsored by Sunscape of Boca Raton. I'm Lori Rolat. I'm the Director of Community Relations at Sunscape of Boca. We are the new assisted and memory care community opened on Boca Rio Road. You can call us and reach us for a tour at 561-680-3600 and check us out at sunscapebocaraton.com. Also want to invite you to our first annual high tea that we're having. It'll be held at Sunscape. We are sponsoring our first high tea on January 30th at 3 p.m. Come and share laughs, memories, high tea, and traditional finger foods. Dress your best and enjoy the first sponsored high tea at Sunscape of Boca Raton. Once again, you can reach us at 561-680-3600. I'm here with Becky Dieter, owner of Senior Living Advisors Compassionate for Senior Guidance. Becky is on a few committees, the Partnership for the Aging, the Walk to End Alzheimer's for Boca Raton, as well as the Senior Significance Project. I want to talk to you more about all three, one being the Senior Significance Project, as I don't even know a lot about that. So can you share with me what that is and how you got involved?
Absolutely. That is a phenomenal, very special program that I got involved in. Kelly Merbler, who is a coach out there, started the Senior Significance Project because of her own mother, who was in a nursing facility, had dementia, and she realized that a lot of the people in the facility around the holidays had no family and received no gifts.
Oh,
and it
heartbreaking.
broke her heart. Absolutely. So she created this project, and what we do, I'm a sponsor of the project and help support her with it. And what we do is we get a list from a couple of skilled nursing facilities. We also this year worked with Alzheimer's Community Care, and we come up with a wish list for all of the residents, as well as what are things that they can use in activities, paints, poster boards, games, things like that. We put it on Amazon. People can go in and purchase, and all the gifts get shipped to Kelly, and her family puts them all together, and then we go deliver them, sing songs, hang out with the residents, and bring them all gifts.
Like happy Santas.
Exactly.
Oh, that's
exactly.
wonderful.
Yes.
How long have you been involved in that?
I've been involved in it, I believe this was my 4th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I hate to ask this question, I don't want to know the answer, but has it grown with the need?
Yes.
Okay.
And we, luckily, as it's grown with the need, we've grown. Kelly has a group, Coffee with Kelly. She has a lot of people that go on Zoom with her on that, are involved. I, pass the information along to people that want to get involved in it. And we have more and more people now that are saying, hey, Becky, when's the Senior Significance Project? How can we, purchase? Because it makes it easy for people to help.
Of course. Is it just during the holidays, or is this something that is open? It's just during the holidays at this time?
At this time,
Okay.
but we have talked about
Just doing it
looking
throughout
at-
the year.
Exactly.
How can people get involved?
Well, right now, I would say watch for social media.
Okay.
Because we put it out there on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Kelly's very good. I mean, Kelly Merbler's the star of the whole program.
Okay.
And watch for us to promote it out on social media.
Oh, what a wonderful project.
It
And
is.
something that we'll talk about because we'll want to get involved as well, personally and with the community too.
Yeah.
And people are just, at certain ages, or they're in nursing homes, and if they don't have families or any
Right.
friends that we were just talking about, if you're alone and you're an older adult or a senior and you're alone, it's a terrible feeling.
Oh, yeah. And it brings out one woman, we got her a CD, and come to find out she was a former opera singer. So they pop in the CD, and this woman starts singing opera.
Oh,
It
my
just brought
goodness.
tears to your eyes. It was amazing, and wasn't real verbal otherwise, but started singing this just beautiful, wonderful opera music.
That's beautiful. Keep your eyes out for social media for that. It's Kelly
Merbler.
Merbler. Tell me more about the Partnership for the Aging, because we'll talk about the last that you and I are both involved in. But the Partnership for the Aging is what?
Partnership for Aging is a Palm Beach County networking group, but it's a little different than your average networking groups. It brings together people that work in the senior communities. So people like myself, people like you working in communities, home health companies, realtor. But the big difference is that membership fees go towards grants that we provide to nonprofits that help with seniors.
Such as?
We gave a grant this year to a senior line dancing program.
Ah, what fun.
We did a Alzheimer's community care, Volin Center, which is an adult day program.
That's here in Boca on Palmetto. They're absolutely wonderful.
Exactly. So organizations, we do ones that help feed seniors. So every year we have people that can apply for grants, and then we have a committee, and we want to make sure that they are really connected to seniors, because that's what our group is all about. And then we'll provide grants to, based on funds that we have, we'll provide grants to those nonprofits.
So do you have to be involved in any sort of a senior group or job or anything to become a member? And what are the membership dues, and how does that work? And how often do you meet?
Not necessarily, but most people have some type of connection to seniors, because that is really the focus, because we're helping seniors. So for example, there will be real estate agents that are senior real estate certified, the SRES.
The specialists.
Exactly. We have senior move managers in there. So it does tend to be senior focused.
Okay.
And there are various levels of membership depending on whether you're a solo individual, up to if you have a company and you want to have a couple people on it. We meet once a month. And right now we're up in West Palm Beach at Kaiser University. and we meet the second Friday of the month.
Okay, well, that's good to know for anybody that is interested. It's Partner of the Aging, and that's in Palm Beach County. And then the last that you are involved in is the Walk to End Alzheimer's, as well as I am with Boca. That walk happens every November. Look for more information on Walk to End Alzheimer's, boca.com. Becky and I are both on the volunteer committee. And I want to thank you, Becky, for joining me.
Thank you
It's been wonderful
for having me.
having you. This is Lori Rolat with Age Well Together, sponsored by Sunscape of Boca Raton. And you can reach us to schedule a tour at 561-680-3600. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on Age Well Together, brought to you by Sunscape Boca Raton. We've delved into the essential topics that matter to families as their loved ones step into the next chapter of life within a secure, picturesque, and engaging living community. Take the next step towards a vibrant and fulfilling life. Until next time, stay tuned and age well together.
The opinions expressed on the preceding